All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Detective Comics starring Batman issue number 511. This is an 80s comic. It's not in a perfect condition. I mean, it's just the interior art is a little bit wobbly here, so maybe the staples is not good attached anymore. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's a good read, and of course, fun for my channel. So I like this timeline a little bit more because we see Batman in his classic costume. In my opinion, the best costume. I never like armored Batman or, the Batman that has a contingency plan for everything. No, I just like the more leaner, sleeker, faster, athletic Batman that uses his skills of deduction and being a detective and also his gadgets. More a little bit down to earth, probably. That's how you say it. Less. He is now. The Batman is now. Oh, he's Batman. He can do everything. He has a contingency plan for everything. He can beat every villain. That is not this Batman, and I like that. So, what is this? Well, this is basically. Well, why am I telling you this? Let's dive in. For those who are new to this channel, you can subscribe if you like what you are seeing. You follow me for a long time. I'm doing daily reviews, mostly older, 80s, 90s, 2000s, a little bit here and new here and there. Mostly it's just these classic comics because I like them a little bit more and they are just more fun. There's also some shitty comics that I review. Can I say shit? Probably not. Anyway, so without further ado, let's dive in. So it's election time, written by Gerry Conway, Don Newton, and Frank Chiaramonte are the artists, and it reminded me a little bit of the style, not completely, of Gene Colan. He has that a little bit. I know he has a certain style that looks a little bit like this, but not entirely. Anyway, so election time. This guy has won, and he has beaten Councilman Arthur Reeves. Now, there was a storyline in Batman 300 and something, and everybody's happy. Batman, he doesn't share his enthusiasm, right? Councilman, the paper's saying you handed this election to Hamilton Hill because your attempt to smear the Batman. Any comment? Why does he have a comment? Is this a comment in his hair? So he says, Hamilton Hill won. I'll leave the why to the editorial writers. So Jarvis comes says, pardon me, Master Bruce, but I think you should be. I think you'll be pleased by the election outcome. Sure, Arthur Reeves was a tin-plated little demagogue. He was threatening to destroy the Batman here in Gotham. You didn't want him to win, did you? No, of course not. So it seems that he had a press conference on election eve, and he had photographs and exposing that the Batman was a Gotham boss called Big Jack Johnson, but they are exposed as fakes, and then basically people lost faith in this guy, and then he lost. But Batman thinks, he says, did someone deliberately set him up for a fall, and if so, who did it and why? Well, we see a little bit glimpse of who and why. Then, meanwhile, in New Jersey at the Daytona or Daytona or Rytona Raceway. So this guy comes in. We have some, couple of guys drinking beer, but also some, editing problems, I guess, because this guy says, "Oh, Halloween last week, the jerk." Doesn't that mean you jerk or just jerk? Is this an editorial error? Anyway. So he says, my name is Mirage, and you're in my way. And the landscape turns, and they are now in Africa, I believe. So then this cop here comes, and, picking up money deposits, and there's an armored truck waiting outside. But then a gem sparkles, and again, reality twist. Then this guy's suddenly on a cliff, and he's falling. And at Daytona racetrack, the man called Mirage retrieves the money bag fallen from Harry Blake's hand. Bewildered ticket clerk jabs a concealed alarm button, activating the klaxon, in the track guard's duty room. They will arrive on the scene too late. I also like that they are giving a guy that is here just in 3 panels a name, a real name. It's just I don't know, give him a little bit more, I don't know, character or human side. I'm not sure how you say it, but you know what I mean. Just not some puppet, not some person that you can discard. I mean, he is being discarded, but giving it a name, gives him a little bit more humanity, I guess. Anyway, then we have Vicky Vale here, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, wasn't Vicky Vale a blonde, or was she only blonde in the movies? I cannot recall. I mean, Vicky Vale is an all-time flame of Bruce. I haven't heard her name in 20 years, if not longer, right? Anyway, so she's doing some photographs for Picture magazine, and he says, well, this guy crossing the track, he get himself killed. To paraphrase Henry James, Vicky Vale has lived long in foreign lands. In reality, she's forgotten that in Gotham, apparently madness is sometimes method. It's something she remembers abruptly when Mirage lifts his bejeweled hands and reality takes a twist. And this guy's I know, in the mountains of the Himalaya. Can't tell what happened to the driver in his car. Light flashed, so bright, I'm dazzled. But I got him on film. Uh-oh, now she's turning on me. The gem on his wrist, it's sparkling. And then reality twist again. A sparkle, a twist, and Vicky Vale lowers her camera to see. Most people's first reaction would be to run. Vicky isn't like most people. Running is a second reaction. Anyway, so she's showing these pictures to the paper, or this Picture magazine. This guy's pretty pleased and says, "These are really good pictures." But Vicky Vale is not really too happy. Except, Morton, did you call me back from Paris just to turn me into a crime photographer? I'm telling you, there was something special that happened last night. Something my camera missed. Vicky, let's not have a scene in front of your friends. And well, this is Bruce Wayne. He says, don't mind me. You say that this costume character used some kind of a gem to transport you and half a dozen other people out of Gotham City to a jungle, a mountain peak, and an Arctic wasteland? That's what happened, Morton. At least that's what we all saw. Yes, but your camera didn't. That's what I can't understand. No matter, the pictures are excellent. Obviously, you and the others were victims of mass hysteria. You want to see some real hysteria, Morton? Keep it up. Come on, Bruce. I'll buy you lunch. They cracked me up a little bit. Anyway, so he's just so speechless that Vicky Vale is back in town. And I like that, Bruce is just here walking on the street without, I don't know, some kind of a floozy on his right or left hand, stepping out of a limo in spotlights, right? He's not the playboy that most comics portray him. He's just now, I don't know, a regular guy. And she says, hey, think we can relight the old fires, Bruce? Who can say, he says. Oh, now who's lost in thought? I wonder what you were thinking if you knew my real reason for wanting to see you again, Bruce. Or should I say Batman? And he thinks, Vicky Vale re-enters my life shortly after Selena Kyle leaves. Nothing ever stays the same. He's a little bit off. He looks also younger here. Meanwhile, at, campus or Gotham University, we see Dick Grayson, and he is in thoughts. Now, we see this, woman here, secretary, I guess. Handsome. That's not what you can do anymore in modern comics. That's a big no-no. I mean, if that's the other way around, woo, all Kotaku and IGN would write articles about that. It's misogynist and all that stuff, But here in the 80s and even in the 90s, no big deal. People make things out of nothing. Social media, what a waste. Anyway, so he bumps into this woman and he says, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking. I walked right into you. Here, let me get your books. Now, this is fun. You're staring at me, young man. Do you always knock books out of strangers' hands and then stare at them? Sure, I mean, no. Oh, fuds. Look, I'm sorry I bumped into you. I mean, I'm not sorry. What do you mean? I feel like a kid, all tongue-tied. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? If you stop stuttering. My name is Dick Grayson. I am Dala. Now, when she says I am Dala, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, I've seen this before because I've read these comics when I was younger in Dutch translator, still have them here. And I thought to myself, this is going to be great later on Now, I'm not going to spoil, but I'll give you a little bit hints. Dala has a secret, a very, very dark secret. And with dark I do not mean dark in what's happening now in modern comics. I mean dark back here in this timeline, because there was some storylines here that was, in my opinion, pretty dark. And what I mean with that is, let's say, spoiler, creature of the night, the undead. And that's where I'm leaving. Now, I reached out to one of my Facebook group people and asked them, hey, I need this, and this comic. Do you have them? He says, yes, I got three of the four you asked for. So I'm one missing. It's probably very hard to come by, but at least I can, if he's going to sell it to me, he needs to look for it. Then we're going to continue this Dala storyline, and it's going to be fun. Anyway, she says, I don't usually go out with younger men, but in your case, Dick Grayson, I'll make an exception. So Bruce Wayne in Wayne Enterprises is, I don't know, he's just exhausted, and then he's, being... Lucius Fox comes in and he says, don't touch me. Lucius, where am I? So Lucius says, hey, you're in Wayne office in the Wayne building, and you are, I know, sleeping. And basically he says, maybe you should go home. Let me handle the books. That's what an executive assistant is for. You sound like my butler, Alfred. He also thinks I'm working too hard, both as Bruce Wayne and the Batman. But what choice do I have, leading two active lives? I like this. That, it was recently, I'm not sure if it's canon, but Batman recently said that Bruce Wayne is the persona and that Batman is the real deal, instead of, Bruce donning the Batman costume. And here he is struggling with that, dynamic, with this, balance, if you will. But then the bat signal is flashing, and he's saying, hey, I need to go, and you need to go home too. But then he also looks back. He goes to the private elevator, but instead of pushing the key that would take him to his penthouse several stories above, he activates a hidden system by means of a specially treated credit card. The elevator doors close on Bruce Wayne, chairman and chief executive officer of Wayne Enterprises and the Wayne Foundation. Yet, when they open again, the 24 floors below in a cave far beneath the city streets, they open on the Batman. I like that. I like this the writing. Anyway, and look at this car, this classic 80s cars, maybe 70s car, right? And but then we see a man entering the house. It's Councilman Reeves, and he's being blocked by this guy. He says he's not seeing anyone. He see me, by heaven, I was strict and about satisfaction. Let the man in, Pauling. That's a good boy. What sort of satisfaction did you have in mind, Councilman? These pictures you gave me, the one that were supposed to ruin the Batman and ensure my election. They are a fraud. Someone leaked undoctored photos to that reporter Olivia Ortega, and it cost me the majority. Is that how I say it? I know, Councilman. I leaked the pictures of ratting my boy Pauling did. You did, but for mercy's sake, why? I thought you wanted me to win. Why on this good would boss foreign support a wimp like you? Why don't we have this stuff in books? And he says, that's right, Councilman, Boss Rupert Thorne. And I made sure you didn't get a good look at me when I gave you the photos. But then you weren't interested in the identity of your secret benefactor. You simply wanted some dirt on the Batman. Boss Thorne, you're supposed to be an Arkham Asylum. They said you were mad. Maybe I am, Councilman. Maybe I am. I like that. And that concludes this particular story. Thorne comes a little bit later in other books. But then, so Batman meets the commissioner, right? And they talk about Mirage. And this is fun. I mean, look at this, how this has been drawn. We see Mirage here, and then this jewel flashes, and then we see all these panels, right, with different art in it. That's well done, in my opinion. So Commissioner Gordon, explains what's been, going on. Anyway, so he's being interrupted by this cop. Sir, dispatch just got you an anonymous tip This guy Mirage has been spotted on Long Island near South Beach, but then Batman is gone. Batman doing his Batman. Meanwhile, and somewhere in Gotham, we have a fashion show, and we have Dick Grayson here, who is here by accident. He came here tonight out of curiosity, just like anyone else. And there's some panic breaking out, and he's transforming into himself, Robin the Teen Wonder, in his classic costume. Again, we see this. So yeah, it's Mirage and his goons. Mirage uses his gem and reality twists. They're getting away. Then a squeal of brakes, skidding tires, and in the parking lot ahead, a sleek Batmobile roars into view. Of course, if Robin is here, can the Batman be far away? Again, a gem glitters, and once more reality gives a turn. And Batman is in shock probably, and he's by instincts betray him. He throws up an arm to protect himself and crash. While not 100 yards away, he's still fighting the octopus. He knows it's fake, but he cannot help himself, and he cannot stop himself. And my head tells me to stop fighting, but in my heart is pounding like a trim hammer. And then also, this is cool that he's still fighting, right? I'm back on stage. And judging by everyone else is reacting, they had pretty much the same experience I had. Say, somebody call a doctor. This guy passed out. Forget the doctor. This man's dead. Well, I'm sorry, Dick. I didn't know you were worked up about it. Anyway, so he's reporting to Batman, and he says, hey, you were talking about a man dead. He must have had a bad heart. And the shock of the Mirage illusions killed him. That changes the stakes somewhat. Now Mirage is wanted for murder. So they're going back to the Batcave, and they are creating some tech because they are hearing some kind of a pitch noises. And according to Batman, he says, I'm betting that his illusions are created by a combination of optical and audible stimulation. Not sure how he did come to that conclusion, but okay. High frequency sonic waves reinforce the images projected visually, giving them a heightened reality. So, okay, so they have earbuds. Cool. And then a very cool panel, the bat signal, that emblem, yeah, with art in it. And they're all looking for it, but they cannot find him anywhere. So Robin comes back and he says, nothing. I checked all my stoolies. What are stoolies? I ran down every lead, crossed the city half a dozen times, and I'm beginning to think Mirage is just a mirage. But then they got a call from the Batman, and so he's tracking the Mirage here. He's on the roof in the Midtown area. So Robin says, hey, give me their address. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Too long, he says. Mirage and his men will be long gone. In 5 minutes? I don't know. Anyway, so he's going in, and be ready, Mirage. I'm about to shatter your illusions. Pale light washes the eastern horizon. Sunrise is only minutes away. Night or day, it matters little to Mirage. As he watches his men loot the waylaid armored car as its drivers battle imaginary monsters, Mirage smiles. It's gone so well. A blitz of crime, a dozen of more robberies in the span of 2 days. Another robbery of 2, and he have wealth enough to retire. He smiles, and then the shadow falls across his soul. The Batman! He almost panics, unthinkingly. But when he remembers his power. When? Doesn't that mean then he remembers his power? You know, there's some errors in here, I think. I mean, English is not my native language, but I'm pretty sure it should say, but then he remembers his power, instead of when. Am I wrong? I don't know. His wrist gem glitters like a prism, and this time it's the Batman turns to smile. And he says, well, you're not reacting. How can it be? That's the trouble with gimmicks, Mirage. When they fail, you're left with nothing. Nothing but your own courage and skill. In your case, that isn't good enough. Stop him, you two. I didn't sign on to fight the Batman. Stop him yourself. And then this guy hits him. Muffled by the Batman's cowl, the blow barely grazes the Dark Knight detective. But it destroys the delicate electronic earpiece that has protected him from the full effects of Mirage's sparkling gem. I like this visual. And with the earpiece gone, reality twists about the Batman. About the Batman? Now I'm hesitating, and now I'm a little bit unsure if this is correct grammar or not. His own words come back to mock him. That's the trouble with gimmicks. When they fail, you're left with nothing but your own courage and skill. The cat's breath is hot on his face. Its fangs snap bare inches from his throat. It's so real, so terrifying. He almost panics. Almost. Not quite. No, this isn't happening. It's an illusion, a dream. And I won't be beaten by a dream. Oh no. Courage. For some man, it is enough. They never covered this at the academy. I don't know what to do. Here's a clue, Mirage. Give up. And he smacks him in the face. And then he gloriously, standing here triumphant, while the sunrise over Gotham City, a new day begins. He's like this. He's like, no, I'm defeated. And this is, well, more like an afterthought. Then he wants to take a break, and Lucius Fogg takes over. And yeah, that's the end of this book. And then the next is Dr. Death that I don't have. I think this is cool. I think this is really cool. There's, like I said, some grammatical errors, I think. Pretty sure. Of course, Mirage is nothing else than a throwaway villain. But still, well done. A single gimmick that almost stopped the deadly duo. Not the deadly duo. The dynamic duo. Haha. I still know it. They stopped him in his tracks, right? But Batman, of course, prevails. But still, very fun book. We're getting introduced to Dala, who has a sinister and deadly secret. And I hope I get the comic soon so we can review that as well. And I'm gonna, we're gonna do this together, guys. Yes, that's what we're gonna do, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, see you next time. Leave a comment below; would help me a lot. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time. Bye bye.